Alright, today's video is Chapter 1, Day 5. It's numbers 18, 28, and we'll see if we can get to 47 and 48, depending on time. Alright, number 18 asks us to name angle 1. And notice I wrote the little arrow pointing right here so that you know that means angle. Okay, so this right there means angle. So that's angle 1. First step, we need to identify where is angle 1. We have to be very precise about this. Angle 1 is a door opening, I like to call it, from there to there. Okay, so it actually starts at A, goes down to B, and goes up to C. So from A to B, B to C, that is angle 1. So how can we name it? Okay. Some people might think there's 3 possibilities. There's really only 2. Possibility 1 would be if we called it angle. Notice I use the angle sign. I go from A to B and B to C. Angle A, B, C. Now an important part is that B here is the vertex. It has to be in the center, so it has to be A, B, C. The other way we can write this is we can start at C. Okay, so we can come back from C to B, and B to A. Okay, so we can call it angle C, B, A. Once again, the vertex right there in the middle has to stay in the middle. Some people might also think that you could call this angle B. Sometimes you can do that. For example, if I just had one angle by itself, I can call it angle B. But in this example, because we have 2 angles next to each other, there is no way of telling. Let me clean this up a little bit. Or we'll just go with it. There's no way telling if we say angle B if we mean ABC, if we mean CBD, or if we mean ABC. So because there's 3 different options, we can only call it either angle ABC or angle CBA with B in the middle. Okay, number 28 asks us to find the measure. So this little M is measure. Okay, in this case it'll be in degrees. The measure of angle GFJ. First things first, let's identify GFJ. GFJ, so it would be that angle. Okay. It also tells us that the measure of angle EFG is equal to 110. So E to F to G is equal to 110 degrees. So that's that door opening, I like to call it. Okay, the key with this is to recognize that GFE, this line at the bottom, GFE is a straight line. This is called a straight angle. These 2 angles together, we're going to learn later, are called supplementary, but this is a straight angle. So we know that from G to F to E is 180 degrees, because 180 degrees is always the degrees of a straight line. So now, if we know that GFE is 110 right here. Okay, so GFE is a straight angle. In other words, GFE is 180 degrees. So anytime you see a straight line, this is one of the few times we can assume in geometry that it is actually straight, and it is 180 degrees. So how do we solve this? The math on this goes, if we know that this is the total, okay, this is one part, and then we have a part to find out. Let's call that x. We're going to write that out as x plus 110. So I take my 2 parts, the x and the 110, and they should add up to a total of 180 degrees. We do some basic algebra, subtract 110, and x equals 70 degrees. Okay, for number 47, number 48, and we have these two intersecting lines, and we know, based on this information here, that angle ACB, so if I trace that out, A to C to B, is equal to 65 degrees. So that is 65 degrees. Like the last one, what you should be noticing in this picture is there are two straight lines, so there should be some straight angles. For number 47, it asks for angle BCD, BCD, and what I want you to see, to find BCD, you have to see that line AD is a straight line. So we know that the total of AD is 180 degrees. So we can just do So x plus 65 equals 180 degrees. Alright, so this is the x right over here. Subtract 65 from both sides and we get 115 degrees. So our answer, the number 47, is 115 degrees. Now if we know that x is 115 degrees, so we can just ignore this x now. The next question asked is, what is angle ECD? Well, what is angle E to C to D? So this angle here. Once again, we have a straight line from E to B, so we know from E to B is 180. We know that this part is 115. So another way you can do it, besides the way I set it up on the other one, is do 180 degrees minus the 115, and that will give us 65 degrees. So this angle must be 65 degrees. Notice that the angles across from each other are equal to each other. This doesn't just happen to be. This is always the case when two straight lines cross. We'll talk about what these are called, I believe, in the next chapter.